3, 2, 1, action!
Back in 2020, I had the chance to work with Jonathan Eusebio and Real Deal Action on the previs for the fight between Reva and Darth Vader for the show Obi-Wan Kenobi. And ever since, I wanted to make another lightsaber fight. On the other hand, I had watched a lot of Star Wars content, and I couldn't help but notice that they had a tendency to deconstruct things, which can be nice, but when they reached basic moral principles, I felt like I had to make a statement that I wish was redundant, but unfortunately isn't.
Do you feel the Force flowing through you?
These two reasons led me to try and make a Star Wars short film with the smallest team possible.
All right.
I reached out to Di Yoon, who is a very experienced martial artist and stunt performer and choreographer.
I got a call from Michael, the director. He's also a close friend. And since I'm a big fan of Star Wars, of course, I hopped in. I saw this as opportunity to be in front of the camera as well, doing some choreo for the action scenes.
What is it?
I asked him if he knew someone who could perform opposite him, and he dropped Tim's name. And I saw a picture of Tim, and I knew that he was the guy.
I was curious how they wanted to approach that project, and I'm also a huge Star Wars fan, and I was very happy to be part of this. I was convinced quite fast that this is going to be something greater.
He had this aura of, youth and kind of like innocence, maybe. Also, he seemed like someone who really was interested in knowledge and learning things. Perfect to play the Padawan part, and that was the perfect contrast to the older and more experienced Di. So, a great thing about our actors is that they're both capable of performing action and also act.
As long as you respect life and trust the Force, you can rest assured that you're on the light side, the right side.
That's why we're guardians instead of punishers.
Tim, for example, had some experience with martial arts and stunt work. A little bit of sword action, and so he was prepared to kind of expand on that.
I like learning new things. All of the action that we had in this was quite a big challenge. A lot of fun, though.
Tim was very, very keen on learning and very disciplined.
Everybody has to start from the scratch somehow, but he was like kind of skilled.
So show me your defense.
Within a couple of training sessions, he did a great job. I think after 3 to 4 rehearsals, he got the timing, the pacing, and the rhythm to put it together, and we were ready to shoot with Michael. Yeah, but you mastered pretty good in the end.
Thank you, Master.
Di, of course, is a very experienced martial artist and the perfect guy to train with. You can see that he is very accomplished in his moves and everything, while Tim, maybe, or his character in the movie, is a little bit more on the learning side, which is fine, which is exactly what we wanted to show. It was very important to me to have a fight that tells a story and makes sense in the context of the film.
I see you've practiced.
So this is a training session. This is basically sparring with lightsabers.
Had some time.
While you were away on your mission.
We have also like a lesson learned in the fight.
He needed to adapt during this fight and find a solution to overcome the situation somehow on his own. Like Bruce Lee said, accept what is useful and reject what is useless. And for making this kind of progress, he needed to switch the styles. That's a combination of everything what could work for the scenes. We mixed it up with some wushu styles, with some Western styles, also some Japanese styles, just to make it more different.
This is also the expression of my deep wish to return to a simpler and kind of nostalgic Star Wars. I kind of missed the sense of wonder and mystery that I felt when I was seeing, Jedi and lightsabers on screen. And so I tried to recreate that a little bit for myself.
I have some questions. When I first read the script, I was a little bit concerned actually, because it didn't really match what I was expecting off of Star Wars.
That almost sounds too simple.
I want lightsaber fights and I want shooting blasters and all that stuff, and it didn't really have that.
The most fundamental truths tend to hide within the simplest of things.
But then when I got more into it and we had a lot of talks about the script, the characters, all of that, I really understood what he was going for. And it's not the action. The action is good, but it's not about it.
Close your eyes. Reach out.
It's probably better to keep it simple and to really focus on what everything is about. And I think we really got that with that script.
It was pretty clear from the beginning that we had to shoot a short film and not a feature-length film because of budget constraints. We decided to go for something a little wider and bigger. Here in Berlin, we have the so-called Teufelsberg and the Drachenberg right next to it, and that's where we shot. I decided to shoot everything in one day, the fight and the dialogue, since I didn't want to keep the team busy for several days, having no budget. And it was in November, so we didn't have much daylight.
So we only had like a couple of hours to do the shoot. On the other side, there was the weather. It was freezing cold.
We decided to shoot the dialogue first and the fight after that. Because we were very well prepared, we were able to pull it off. I was very glad to work with Dee and Tim on this project because they're both very professional.
Okay, sowas in der Art.
I enjoyed being on set with all the guys. It's the energy. I don't know why. For me, set is kind of the happy place.
Dee Yoon gave us a very, very convincing performance as the master, since he is the experienced martial artist.
It was a pleasure working with Michael.
Alright, dann machen wir noch 2 Inserts, komm. Okay.
It's been such an amazing journey for me. It's a great first time working with him. It's a fun shoot.
He is on point.
He understands us and he just makes this movie work.
Set. 3, 2, 1, action. Und los. Action. Tim? Bitte. Very good. Und bitte.